It was supposed to be another routine township board meeting, a place where citizens voice concerns and leaders respond with policy. A space where democracy, in its rawest local form, is supposed to play out peacefully. But what unfolded on January 28, 2024, at the Thornton Township board meeting was anything but peaceful. Within minutes, civility was tossed aside, punches were thrown, people leapt over tables, television monitors were smashed, and caught. Right in the center of this political hurricane was none other than Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. The events of that evening have now spiraled into a full-fledged legal battle. Two men, community activist Jedediah Brown and concerned resident Lavelle Redmond, have filed a civil lawsuit claiming they were violently attacked. Their offense? Speaking out. For daring to raise their voices and challenge leadership, they say they were met not with rebuttals or debate, but with fists. They're now suing not just Henyard and her boyfriend, but also a Village of Dolton employee, Thornton Township, and even the South Holland Police Department. The allegations include assault, battery, emotional distress, and a chilling accusation of unchecked abuse of political power. According to multiple eyewitnesses and video evidence, the chaos began with a single word. During a heated public comment session, Jedediah Brown directed an expletive at Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. That moment, seemingly small, became the spark that lit a political wildfire. In seconds, order dissolved into disorder. The air was thick with shouting. Members of the public and township officials alike were caught in the melee. The footage of the incident has since gone viral, painting a disturbing picture of a township meeting descending into something resembling a barroom brawl. What's particularly disturbing is the role Henyard allegedly played in the chaos. According to attorney Matthew Costardo, who is representing Brown and Redmond, this wasn't simply a case of a heated exchange that spiraled out of control. He claims Henyard herself physically assaulted Redmond, striking him twice before turning her attention to Brown. Her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, is also accused of punching Redmond during the altercation. These aren't just accusations made in passing, they're now the foundation of a civil case filed in Cook County. The plaintiffs are clear. This wasn't just a fight, it was an attack on their right to speak freely. I take responsibility for my part in all of this, Brown said in an interview with NBC Chicago. But it's under constitutionally protected lawful activity. I can say what I want to say, but at no time should a citizen feel that they will be attacked by an elected official. And that's where the deeper problem lies. When public officials turn violent, what recourse do the people have? The events of that night, and the legal fallout still unfolding, have raised serious questions about leadership, accountability, and whether democracy can survive in a place where dissent is answered with violence. Attorney Matthew Costardo didn't mince words. Standing firmly behind his clients, he painted a picture of raw, unchecked aggression inside a room meant for civic order. Kamal Woods pushes and punches Lavelle Redmond. He takes a swing at him. There's lots of video out there, Costardo said. These aren't speculative claims. They're accusations grounded in footage captured from multiple angles. The incident, which erupted in front of a crowd of stunned residents, has now become a case study in how power can implode under pressure. But it wasn't just Woods in the spotlight. According to Costardo, Mayor Tiffany Henyard wasn't simply an observer swept into the chaos, she was a key instigator. She attacks Redmond first, Costardo continued, hits him maybe twice, then she goes right in on Jedediah Brown. These are damning claims. For a sitting elected official to be accused of physically assaulting two private citizens is more than just a PR nightmare. It's a full-scale legal crisis. To many who've seen the videos, the footage is shocking. Elected officials who are supposed to represent calm and order are seen engaging in physical violence, throwing punches, pushing constituents, and escalating a dispute that should have been handled with words, not fists. The optics are damning, but the implications go even deeper. This wasn't just about a fight. It was about silencing dissent, silencing voices that dared to speak up. Brown and Redmond, the men at the center of this legal storm, insist that their only real crime was speaking out. According to them, their words, sharp, critical, and directed at Henyard, were protected under the First Amendment. "I take responsibility for my part in all of this," Brown said in a public interview. "But it's under constitutionally protected lawful activity. I can say what I want to say." He added with emphasis, "At no time should a citizen feel that they will be attacked by an elected official." That's the most unsettling part of this story. The idea that free speech, a foundational American right, could be met with violence, especially at a township meeting of all places. These aren't the halls of Congress. These are local rooms, where neighbors gather to hold their leaders accountable. And yet, both Brown and Redmond walked away from that night not with answers, but with bruises, injuries, and now a legal mountain to climb. Even more troubling is what came next. Nothing. Despite the chaos, despite the video evidence, despite the formal police reports, no one was arrested. The South Holland Police Department, which received complaints from both Brown and Redmond, has reportedly done little to pursue justice. "It was disheartening," Brown said, "for me to see the police after being attacked tell me that they would not investigate this." In his eyes, justice wasn't just delayed, it was denied altogether. Redmond shared that frustration. For him, the issue is not only about being assaulted, it's about accountability. "She's not above the law," he said, referring to Henyard. "She should be held to the same standard as the rest of us." And yet in this case, it appears that political status may be shielding those who should be facing consequences. For a township already burdened with financial mismanagement and public distrust, this incident adds fuel to a growing fire. And, for the residents of Thornton Township, the message is chilling. Speak out, and you just might get punched. This wasn't just a matter of personal injury. It was a statement about accountability, or the lack of it. And for many in the community, it was the last straw in a growing list of complaints about Henyard's leadership. From allegations of financial misconduct to extravagant spending, Henyard has become one of the most controversial figures in Illinois politics. But this time, the controversy spilled into physical violence. The civil lawsuit now seeks compensation for medical bills, emotional distress, attorney's fees, and more. The plaintiffs are also asking for a jury trial. But Henyard's legal team is calling it all fiction. Her attorney, Bo Brindley, issued a sharp denial, saying the claims are completely false. According to Brindley, Henyard was defending herself. "This man brought a knife into the meeting hall," he said. "He swung that knife at Kamal Woods. People got cut. So that's a fact." But Custardo, representing Brown and Redmond, says that claim is absolutely false. He insists there was no knife, just words, followed by violence. "The videos speak for themselves," he said. "The use of violence against individuals who are simply advocating for transparency and accountability in the community, that's just unspeakable. And it's unacceptable. If those videos show what Custardo says they do, Henyard and her inner circle could be in serious trouble. So how did we get here? How did a township meeting, a symbol of democracy, turn into a street fight? And how did Tiffany Henyard, once hailed as a rising star in local politics, become the center of lawsuits, FBI investigations, and now viral videos of public brawls? The story of Henyard's rise is almost cinematic. A young, bold leader who shattered ceilings by becoming both mayor of Dolton and township supervisor. But critics say that power has gone unchecked, and now it's out of control. Her lavish spending, massive salary hikes, and questionable charity ventures have all raised eyebrows. And now, those concerns have escalated from whispers to lawsuits. This case isn't just about two injured men. It's about a community asking who protects them when their leaders turn violent. It's about the limits of power and what happens when those limits are ignored. Brown and Redmond didn't just sue for money. They sued for recognition, for justice, for the right to criticize their government without being punched in the face. But the political machine backing Henyard is strong, and she still has loyal supporters who say the attacks are politically motivated. "This is a coordinated smear campaign," said one ally. "They want to take down a strong black woman who's shaking up the system." But videos don't lie, and the videos from that night show a leader engaging in behavior most would call disgraceful. And that raises a deeper question. How does someone like Henyard stay in office? Why do voters keep supporting someone surrounded? By scandal? The answer might be complex. Community loyalty, identity politics, fear, misinformation, but whatever it is, it's keeping her in power. And until voters demand change, nothing will stop her. What's even more troubling is how the police responded or didn't respond. 2 men say they were attacked. They filed reports, and the police did nothing. If true, this isn't just a failure of political leadership, it's a failure of law enforcement. If citizens can't trust their police to protect them from elected officials, who can they trust? Brindley insists his client will be vindicated. I'm sure the lawsuit will be dismissed before it gets off the ground, Nice said confidently. But even if it is, the damage is done. The videos have been seen, the lawsuits have been filed, the reputation is bruised, and the questions remain. What does it say about a township when board meetings need security like a rap concert? What does it say about a mayor who throws punches at constituents? And what does it say about a justice system that turns a blind eye when power is abused? Tiffany Henyard may have survived scandals before. She may still have supporters defending her every move. But this time, the consequences are bigger. There are courtrooms involved, civil rights at stake, and an entire town watching to see if justice will be served. For Redmond and Brown, the fight is no longer just physical. It's legal, emotional, and symbolic. They're taking a stand not just for themselves, but for every citizen who's ever felt powerless against those in power. They're demanding accountability. And whether they win or lose in court, they've already sparked a movement. As for Henyard, her story isn't over. She's vowed the show will go on. But for many, that show is starting to look more like a tragedy, one where power corrupts, justice stalls, and the people suffer. The real question now isn't whether she'll win the lawsuit. It's whether the system will finally hold her accountable.